other things, mostly hardware, but I found this box of discs, and I have no clue what they are or what they're for. They were not my original download archives. Download archives. I don't even know. Oh, download archive. These ones say on them, they all are consistent. 3.5 inch MF 2 HD 2 megabyte. I don't know where I got this. I suspect this came this box with, you know, some stuff. But this archive, well, someone, download archive, download archive, download archive. Okay, this seems to be a bunch of archived stuff. Now, is it for the Amiga? Is it, you know, are they 1581 discs? I would be surprised. Download archive. This person downloaded lots. I'm just looking for some name of something that jumps out at me. Studio 2 Pro. Who knows? Maybe these are I have no idea what this is. Well, it seems like I have a lot of archives or something. But nothing jumps out at me as, who knows, maybe these are IBM things. PG 3.3. Final, oh, it's not word. Final Writer. Ooh. Okay, there's hope. This is the only thing I found that leads me to think this is a well, it says Amiga. Well, okay. It says Amiga Action September 1985, something on the giveaway, but this is got another sticker on it. So one says, I think it says empty. Final Writer 97, disc 8. Then that scratched out and says PG 3.3. Well, okay, maybe. Maybe this is something Amiga related. Maybe not. Final Writer. Discs. Final Writer. Who knows? Maybe I found some great thing. It does seem that some of these discs are magazine discs that have been reused, and they do say Amiga. Well, I don't have an Amiga set up here right this instant. But besides, there's a crack in the case, a little dirt, but besides that, this case has kept these discs in pretty okay shape. I did get, this is my 5 1/4 bunch of things, I did get that sorted a bit better there. Well, that is a project for another day. This disc box, I think, should hang around. It might be handy. Anyway, I was just looking into a whole Rubbermaid, I think it was a Rubbermaid container of stuff. So maybe I'll go get some of that. We'll see what we can find. What treasures lurk within. And I'm back. So here is this bin. And the first thing I find is a data set. great thing, considering it pretty much worked, or was compatible with the PET, 64, the Vic, well, the whole PET line. I guess they changed the plug for the Plus 4 and the Commodore 16. But yeah, now, does it work? I don't know. I just don't know. Here we have some discs from Compute Gazette. They are from Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 4. You know, I like this volume thing. Oh, issue 36, 42. Okay. But what year? Oh, June 86, April 87, January 87, February 87, December 86. Cool. I would imagine they're for the 64, but I don't know. So I'll set them there. What else do we have? Ooh, a Commodore 64 user's guide, which there are even things here that are helpful. But more helpful than that, although it's a little dusty and beat, is the Programmer's Reference Guide, where they basically said, let's put everything we know about it in a book and give it to the people. Very similar coverings. Guess they wouldn't want to, you know, spend anything on getting another cover. Oh, here's a manual for paperclip. A little bent, but who isn't? Oh, is that the warranty registration card? Need help? Ooh. It's not the warranty registration card, but if you need help, there's a customer support line. I suspect it's long out of operation. Paperclip. Indeed. Funny, I don't know where he is now, but I did know, and a fellow who used to come to our bulletin board get-togethers at times, named Steve Douglas, wrote Paperclip. And I think he did very well with it. And it was a very good program. It was my choice as a word processor. Here are more discs from Compute Gazette. Now they might not all be, 64 programs. There might be some big things. I don't know. Here, a cartridge for the 64 named Shoplifter. And a cartridge for the 64 by Commodore called Music Machine. Shoplifter certainly I've played. Music Machine I've heard. But what does it do? Good question. Ooh. An Atari game for the Commodore 64 called Centipede. That brings back memories. It does. Ooh. Now this is getting rough. This case has seen better days. It says Cave of the Word Wizard. And the book doesn't look bad. But it's funny, it doesn't really look like the disc fits in here properly. Which may be why it's not really closed well. But certainly the wizard actually talks to you. An intriguing way to develop spelling skills using human speech and arcade action. Wow, I've never heard of this, but I'll have a look. What else? Oh, here, something else for batteries included called, or at least it's a manual for Home Pack. And what is Home Pack? Well, it sounds familiar. but I don't remember. Home text, home find, home tone. Oh, okay. So, sounds like smaller. Ooh. A Wico command control manual. Yeah. This really was the strongest and best joystick going. I have one over here. It has a round ball in it. I was using it the other day. This is the little manual. Talks about all kinds of things. Yes. And what would a book be without a joystick? This one, okay, no, it feels strong. This one has a kind of a baseball bat thing on it. Basically the same as what I was using, except this one has a round ball. Now, does this work? I don't know. I have not tested it, but I suspect it does. I don't think I've ever found one that didn't. Here, a Commodore. Where's it a Commodore? Well, I don't know if it's a Commodore serial cable, but definitely this would go from a Commodore 64 to a 1541, or from a 1541 to a 1525 printer. It's serial cable, Commodore serial. 6 pins, looks in good shape. This is a mystery. Suncor animation station has a typical plug, like a joystick. Oops. Has a little thing on the back so it shows it can sit up. I have never heard of this that I remember. Has a switch on the front. Maybe it's sort of like, oh, a koala pad of sorts. I don't know. Oh, there is a mysterious earring. Oh yes, here's the obligatory dirty, but probably works, Epic fast load cartridge. Now, what else do we have? An unrelated receipt. A rather beat up 1541 manual book. A book from clip art, or Springboard, of their clip art, which was used with, the program name escapes me at this moment. Ooh. A manual for the games, summer edition. Cool, these were fun. Oh, that's right, I know what it was for. The clip art was for the newsroom, made by Springboard. Easy Working Planner. Interesting. Now it's funny, yeah, because I have these manuals. Discover the possibility. Springboard software catalog. Kind of beat up. Com print. Oh, I was hoping I'd find. Oh, look, here's a manual for a cassette. Data set. This, okay. As I glanced to the top of the box, I saw this thing. Never seen one before. Don't know much about it. Comprint provides instant access to Centronics parallel printers for the Commodore 64 or Vic-20. And thankfully, here is a manual. So I will have to explore this. So this is an addendum. I guess there were some, perhaps, compatibility issues somewhere. Thankfully, as I dig into this box, I find more cables. Okay. So this, oh, okay. This is kind of an RCA to RCA cable, kind of short. Would be helpful for sound or, video stuff. But this is an adapter. I'm not sure if you can see that. What it does, it would go into, say, maybe something with a television that has the sort of more cable-y wire stuff. Kind of dirty. So you could put this on, it would go in, it has a tiny little projectile inside and give you this, so you could use your sort of more normal video from a Commodore machine to go in to something interesting. Now here, if I can get it out, looks to be, because that interface thing there looks rather incomplete, but this looks rather like it would complete it. So there is one funny plug. Oh. But does it fit? Well, somewhat. So it has the typical things that most printer interfaces had way back when. I don't know why they decided they should have it separate. I see this, like this is wrapped in electrical tape like it had some issue. Of course, most of them stole power off of the cassette port, but still lets you plug in the cassette that hardly anybody used anyway. That would go in the serial port, and this, oh, I see this is slipping off already. Why would they do that? Oh well, maybe there's a reason. And here's, of course, what you would attach to your Centronics parallel printer, which, typically speaking, it was a good thing to use interfaces of some sort. Oh, that still, it doesn't feel like it's going to fit in everywhere. But you know what, I've been in this a long time, I've never even heard of that, never seen one until I pulled it out of the box. Oh look, a pen. Do I have anything? Oh look, I have this wayward receipt. Okay, a working pen. Life is good. But finally, way down at the bottom, of course, the obligatory Commodore power supply. And do I know if it works? No, of course not. Do I tend to trust that it will? Yeah, probably. I would like to think if it was dead, they would have thrown it away. Mind you, I don't necessarily throw away all dead power supplies, because you never know. You might need a cord. Alright. That, there's a little extra gibberish in here, but I don't think I see anything Commodore related. So, I guess what I'm going to do is try and get the dust out of this thing, and I can carefully put some things back in and decide what's what, and what I'm going to do. Oh, dust. Well, what I suppose I could do, were I brave, and I suppose I am, is pop the power supply cord out of the power bar. Funny, you know, some of the power supplies had 3-prong plugs, some of them 2. I'm not sure why. Alright. So, this, I'm dusty. This is the power supply that was in this box. Here we have a Vic-20. The cable's a little bent, but I'm hoping that I see the light come on and a mega race come up. Look at that. Well, now the mega race is up, What a fine opportunity to test this joystick. I will go to the base. Oh. Right. Okay, you know what? It may be. Okay, this is not going well. I might have actually found a joystick in order. Alright, let's start again. I may have actually found a weaker joystick. That is purple. What it does look like, maybe it's had something leaning on it, and it does look like it's supposed to return to the middle neutral position. But it doesn't look like it's doing that. So maybe being in that box and having something lean on it for all these years did not do it any good. If so, this would be the first one that I remember being wonky. Okay, something happened there. I did not lose. At least I didn't think I lose. Okay, this I think. See, there definitely is something with this joystick. You see, it is, I'm not sure if you can see that, it's not centered. So at times, I'm not playing. Yeah, it's, see, something is weird here. Very strange. Alright. Maybe it thought I was using the paddles. Alright, I'm going to press F1. I'm going to accelerate. Let's see. It's not accelerating as it should. See, I should be able to go straight and turn. And if all I do is try to turn, it's going to hit me. All of this should be extra lanes. Anyway, I think perhaps Okay, enough of that. So, there may be issues. Maybe it needs a little lubrication, but don't we all? Alright, so I'm going to clean out this bin. I'll probably put some things back in it. Careful not to put the discs or anything perishable on the bottom. And I will investigate some of the stuff further, like, does this data set work? I don't know. Anyway, thank you for coming. If you have any comments about anything, or questions, I look forward to testing out this com print. Who made this com print? I don't know. There was all kinds that I knew of, but I never heard of this. Column print. Yes, please make sure all equipment is turned off. Good thought. Alright. Thanks. Bye. See you again.